everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. On the field today are two middle linebackers who will need to make plays in the pass and run game. It's the Chiefs going up against the Broncos. With that, let's get you up to Green Bay, Wisconsin, where we welcome in our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. While the skies may be ominous, there's never a bad day for football. Tonight, we've got an AFC matchup on tap between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. In the backfield is Anderson. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Calling a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Here's the offense, and you got to talk about the guy that they nicknamed Bebe, Charles Demarius Thomas.
You worry about him catching the ball, but you worry more about what he does after the catch. Big, strong, physical. He makes plays downfield.
He takes this from the 30 to the 34. A group of Chiefs there to make the stop that time.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1.
Here we go. Now, check, Patrick.
They'll run it. Here's Anderson. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. And let's take a look at the defensive starters for Kansas City.
Dontari Poe emerged on the scene fast as a young player and continues to make big plays at defensive tackle.
Let's go. 3-19.
Now they'll look to throw it with Lynch. And he's got it, complete to Fowler. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And the offense in that middle ground here on 3rd down, 3rd and 5. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Lynch. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. Tough starting field position here. From his goal line here, Smith. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks, but it doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me is balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there. On
the ground, And this is where. And he's going to be taken down here at about the 10. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
And out of bounds, this will depend on where they spot it, and they'll say at the 45. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. Green with a catch left side. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 11 yards on the pickup, and it's a 1st down for the Broncos. Fresh set of downs here.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
In the backfield is Anderson. And he'll get it up the middle. And he will possibly get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. On the other hand, it will definitely take us to the end of the 1st quarter. The 1st down line at the 34 here on 3rd down.
Green, 39. Green. Watch it now, Barney. Barney. All right, now, look at 56. Look at 56.
On 3rd down, Lynch. And Fowler's got it. And he's going to go out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Handoff comes to Anderson. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, so far, this game has gone the way the defensive coordinator had hoped. They've dictated things. They've not let them run the ball very well at all. They gave up a nice game there. I doubt it'll back off their confidence. They played so well throughout this entire game.
Now a run with Anderson. Down right around the 25. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Left side here to Sanders. Sanders, the former SMU product, had 79 catches last year, over 1,000 yards. 5 touchdowns. They're going to need more of him in Denver if they want to get back into the playoffs.
Part of a great tandem, he and Demaryius Thomas, and Demaryius plays out wide. He's one of those guys that you send him out there and let him work one-on-one and use his big body and his big frame to get open. Emmanuel Sanders, he has the ability to work inside as well, and he's not just quick, he's also fast, and he's dependable for a quarterback because a lot of the routes he runs are right in the sight line. Easy throws for a QB.
And we were scoreless up until this point in the 2nd quarter. Now we finally have a little action.
Let's see where this action takes us. 1st quarter, no points at all. Now we got our first score of the game. Well, does that signal that we're going to get more as we go along, or will it revert back to what we saw in the beginning of the game?
And now here comes Kansas City. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy. Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3
and
and
now
out.
they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. On the outside, they're playing press coverage. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Smith now to throw. Steps away to his left. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Smith going to throw on 3rd and 1. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, it's Chris Harris with a pick.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
They'll come out in the pistol. They run the counter now. It's Anderson. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, it wasn't much of a gain, but we're getting near the 2-minute warning, so maybe they just want to get to that point, regroup, and decide what they want to do the rest of the half.
And with that, it's 2-minute warning time here, the NFL on EA Sports. Again, we'll see the pistol here. On 2nd down, here's Lynch. And caught, right side, Green. And down inside the 15 he goes. And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
10th carry now for Anderson. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On 2nd down, Anderson. And running room, Hart. Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Third down now. It's C.J. Anderson. And the stop will come in. And the Chiefs are going to signal for and be granted another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And McManus able to put it through. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So give them 3 there. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they couldn't punch it in.
And credit this defense, too. That was the old bend but don't break approach. But it kept the offense out of the end zone.
And the Chiefs now getting set to go. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. It's Hill, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Granted, another catch for Tyreek Hill. How do you defend him? Because kickoff return, punt return, catching the ball, whether it's his receiver out of the backfield. And, of course, you can run it with him, too.
Well, let me give you some numbers from last year. To your point, 12 total touchdowns, 6 of them receiving, 3 rushing, and 3 in the return game.
If you're an offensive coordinator and you can't diagram plays for this guy, turn in your clipboard.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Six yards to go here on second down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. To throw on second down is Smith. Incomplete. This is Albert Wilson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. Well, that came a little abruptly here. Still working on my apple up in the booth. Hang on here. Let me spit this out. And we can get to the third quarter now. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Backing up. Trying to improvise. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be second and about a yard.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Offense readies for a 2nd and 1. Throwing is Smith. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And he's brought down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
There's a good push to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. He's got the size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat-out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
Did not get outside the tackles, and that's going to be a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, quarterbacks want to make sure they can ground it legally. In this case, he wasn't able to.
Here's Smith now on second down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. 3rd and long. It's Smith. And he's got his man. That's Macklin. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. It's a big play there for the Chiefs. 30 yards.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. Charles. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. 7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. the run, it's Charles. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
And the offense in a great spot. It's 1st and he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. Spencer Ware, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs have tied it, and they can take the lead with the extra point.
I know we don't talk about it.
And now it's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. But he will not be able to bring this one back, and the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
Well, so much for going into the lead, and let's give a lot of credit to the special teams unit on the other side there. They picked up their defense in a big way, didn't they?
They absolutely did. Second half, you think, like you said, you're going to get the lead. So mark this play down. This could definitely be one to remember.
Yeah, I don't know if they schemed it or if someone just gave a great effort to go get it. In any event, that's a big-time play.
They go play action here on 1st down. They'll roll him out right. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot, but there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the combine, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you've got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams. So your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction. And then you have the OTAs and minicamps. We get to see them on the field for the first time. And we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins. On 3rd and 1, it seems natural to just turn and hand it to the biggest guy you have in the backfield. But usually, he's not the primary runner. So for the defense, they're often keying on the running back because he's the guy who gets the ball more often, and the fullback is the blocker. When he ends up carrying the football, that's a heck of a tendency breaker, and now you're just trying to jump on his back and hold on.
Let's look ahead for a quick minute. We don't have the schedules yet for next year, but what we do have are the 5 international games that will be played, 4 in London and then 1 again in Mexico, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Miami, New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, Rams in Arizona, those in London, and then Mexico's going to get a great game. The Raiders and New England.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And just think about the ones in London. Remember, they're splitting them between the 2 different stadiums in London, so they get a different flavor in all of these places. But Mexico, for the 2nd straight year, the Raiders are coming to town. That should be a whole lot of fun.
Should be a ton of fun and a very good matchup. Thomas, the lone receiver, left.
Green, 39.
Now Paxton Lynch on 3rd and long. And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down. Here's Riley Dixon now. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his 1st. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And now here comes Kansas City, and they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
And they still need 8 yards for the 1st here on 2nd down. Play fake for Charles. Now Smith going underneath for Charles. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Back now at Lambeau. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. So 1 yard to go here on third down. Off of play action. Here's Smith sliding out of the pocket. And it's complete to Kelsey. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he goes out of bounds across the 40-yard line. 15 yards there on the catch and run. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't
they? When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll make it second down. Now it's Charles taking it from the pistol. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
Defense thinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. Throwing is Smith. Has some space here. They get 9 yards there, and they get a first down.
We have so many different terms for third down, 3rd and short, 3rd and long, 3rd and manageable. How about 3rd and medium? Because that's what this one was. The defense looked like they had him hemmed in, but he gets away, evades the rush, and picks up just enough for the first down.
The first down carry here for Charles. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4. A couple of Broncos there in on the tackle.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
They'll keep it on the ground with Charles again. And he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now. This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Smith. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
So the drive here ends with a field goal, and that does give them the lead, but this one is still a long ways from over.
And you love to be able to look up at the scoreboard and see that you're out in front, but then you take one look across the field and see that offense is raring to come back out, and you think, I don't know that field goals are going to be enough to get us home.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Throwing here, Lynch on first down. And Green with a catch left side. And he's going to be out of bounds at the 39. 12 yards on the pickup, and it'll be good for a Denver first down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
4th quarter, 2-minute warning about to hit, and it looks like they're going to get one more play in.
Be interesting to see what they try and do on this play. Do they try and take a shot, or do they just try and get to the 2-minute warning?
Play clock winding down. They'll throw on first down with Lynch. Eluding the pressure right. And he's got some space here. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. They're going to hurry back to the line now.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
So following the run, we'll see what they do here on 3rd down. In the backfield is Anderson. He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And this is caught. Demaryius Thomas. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. To throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And he was able to shed the... Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. And McManus able to put it through. And that will tie this game here in the final minute of play. So in the final minute, they turn it over to their kicker to get him back to even, and he does not disappoint.
Brandon, do you think the pressure ever gets to this guy? Because I sure don't. That was pretty smooth right there. I tell you, he better not rest on his laurels, because there's a good chance they may need him again if this game goes to overtime.
The Chiefs offense now making their way back onto the field. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range, not much. A tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. And this is going to be intercepted. And how about this? It's the other Brandon Marshall that picks it off. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. They run with Anderson. He's been the bell cow tonight. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective... And the Chiefs are going to signal for and be granted another timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So we've got a 2nd and 5. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Oh, no, he lost the football. and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And that will write a finish to this ball game. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
Nothing between these two teams for 4 quarters. Here we go to begin overtime. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So the Broncos coming out now. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. But not to get too overcritical there, because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and if he gets those shoulders right, that pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Flushed out right. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and they're going to face a third down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
On third down, Lynch. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
In the backfield is Anderson. He'll get the football here. And he might have got this across midfield, not by much. They'll mark it down at the 49. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Let's see what the offense comes with here. 2nd and 8. On 2nd down, Lynch. Eluding the pressure right. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Allen Bailey in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic. This is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
Here's Lynch to throw. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. This is caught inside the 15. A huge play there in overtime. 45 yards.
I know they had good coverage downfield, but you have to wonder, on 3rd and long like that, how does that happen, that they can get that far downfield and complete a pass? You got to guard the sticks, understand where you are, so it's almost like someone fell asleep at the switch, and now that the play's been completed, they've got to dust themselves off on defense, pick it up, and figure out how to not let that happen again.
First down. Here's the run with Anderson. And he's into the end zone for the touchdown and the game winner in OT. We needed extra time to decide this one. The rushing score in OT finishes it off, but all throughout, really just a great game to witness.
I agree, and the whole time we were watching and working on this game, I had it in the back of my head. We could get to overtime. Just the way this game went, the ebb and flow of it all. And then to get there and finish it what I would call an old school way, a running play, because in today's NFL, we throw the ball to ring the bell, don't we?
Not there. They ran it in. And again, again. Just a great game that we bore witness to. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.